Okay. That's how we usually do it. We get real wheels off. People don't know, but we get real wheels off.
Chugga wheels off.
I don't know if we're in it.
No, we are. That's just the square, and then it's a rectangle.
Okay.
But that's a square. A square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square, you know?
Yeah. We should probably clap before we do it. Also, if there's good... Is this recording? Because the footage of you was like a cheerleader who's like waiting to audition. Look at it.
And 1, 2, 3, clap. Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're sisters.
In law.
We're watching Suits one episode at a time.
It's a show so nice, I've watched it twice.
And a show so great, I'm watching it late.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Maggie's never seen it and Amanda's obsessed. They don't wear fancy suits, they are casually dressed. They are sisters-in-law and they got a show about a law firm drama that aired a few years ago. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans.
This is season 2, episode 10, High Noon.
I love this episode. Very fun. Loved it. So many shake-em moments, but
dude,
it was
no
a good
kidding.
One. It was a good one to come out of Grammy and into this.
I can't wait to hear your brief.
Oh, well, I'll get right into that.
Because we sometimes forget, so I'm trying to be intentional about doing the briefs.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. This episode shows that sometimes marijuana can cause you to make bad decisions, like sleeping with married childhood friends or almost not speaking at your grandmother's funeral. It can also lead to cracking open a case with or without a can opener. Harvey and Mike make great stoner friends as they finally cast a stone that knocks Hardman straight out of the firm and puts Coastal Motors to rest. It's easy peasy. Harvey doesn't even have to give a pee sample ordered by Louis Litt before he flips back to the good guy side. I'm excited to see how the firm of Pearson and Kiss My Ass flourishes for the rest of season 2.
That was really good. I'm proud of all of those for you.
Thank you. I was proud of it too.
All right.
Sometimes when I write it, I think Amanda
It's
like
gonna be
this.
good. And I don't look at them. I try. I'm like, don't look at it.
Yeah.
Because the past 2 weeks, you've gotten to the notes faster than I have.
Because I've been excited.
I've started to get in there, and then something happens, and I'll get the outline part, and then I don't do it until later. If Chumbawamba ever needed an episode for inspiration, then tell them to meet Harvey and Jessica at high noon at Pearson Hardman. After Jessica gets knocked down from losing her reign as managing partner, and Harvey gets knocked down 3 floors, they have to get real creative to get back up again. And the only way up is to take the high road. Mike is knocked down from grief from the passing of Grammy, and the only way he can get it back up again is to be kissing the night. Okay, let me see how I did it. I wrote these cues in here. I'm losing it. Are you going to go and tell Colin and be like, something's wrong with her?
No, this is the best version of you.
Mike is knocked down from the grief from the passing of Grammy. And the only way he can get it back up again is to be kissing the night away with Rachel and Tess. Despite all the spite at Pearson Hardman, Coastal Motors and Daniel Hardman are put to bed. Jessica takes the reign again, and Louis is all by himself.
10 out of 10 performance value. Kissing the night away.
It's really
A Chumbawamba reference? Amanda Austin.
Well, because I was saying they got knocked down, and then I started singing
and then
it.
they get back up again.
Yeah, I think... Now, are you surprised that I knew who Chumbawamba was? Because it felt like you were surprised in season 1 that I didn't know who Eminem was.
But you did know who Eminem was.
Of course I know who Eminem was.
And because you know who Eminem was, that great indie rapper.
Yes.
I had no doubt that you knew who Chumbawamba was.
Yeah.
Of course, the most iconic band of the 90s.
Yes.
Chumbawamba with all their hits.
Yes. I drink a whiskey drink.
I drink a vodka drink.
I drink a lager drink.
I drink another drink. I sing songs that remind me of the good times.
I sing a song that reminds me of the best times.
Best time.
Best time.
Yo, Johnny boy, Johnny boy, Johnny boy.
Danny boy.
Oh, Danny boy. Well, in this case, it's oh, Mikey boy.
Or Danny boy.
Daniel Hardman.
Wow. I love that. Oh,
Johnny boy.
so confidently. Oh, Johnny boy.
It should be Johnny boy. Johnny boy gets knocked down. That poor little Johnny.
Johnny boy getting
Johnny
knocked
boy,
down.
Johnny boy.
Because this episode is called High Noon, that I would have some High Noons in my refrigerator to drink,
That
which
would've
didn't
been fun.
exist back then. I don't. I do have some White Claws because my brother, your husband, loves White Claws, and I keep them around, and he always says there's no laws with claws. So
Yeah, but we are doing a law show.
we're doing a law show.
So it wouldn't be appropriate for us to drink White Claws because there are laws that we are discussing.
It feels like sometimes there are no laws. It's like this is a White Claw firm.
I will say this episode felt lawless.
I did feel lawless. Let's get to it. Talk about, though, seriously, it's like boom, up, down, up. What's going on? It's a
Sad, laughing, sad, laughing, sad, sad,
scared.
scared. Roller coaster. Pearson versus Hardman.
Yes.
It opens. The vote is happening. Lewis is struggling, which I was not anticipating.
Okay.
Him struggling to decide who he was going to vote for. Harvey just stares at him.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't think that's going to motivate Lewis in the way that you think it is.
Right.
The managing partner is Daniel Hardman. Vote comes in. Effective immediately. So
and Jessica handles it very calmly and almost has a small smile and with grace, which she does.
So much grace.
In those like partner meetings and whatnot, she can be firm. She also handles it well. Like even when they brought him back in and he was in the firm in that first partner meeting, we'd like to welcome Daniel Hardman back. You know, was very.
She can put on a show.
She can. She is primed for the theater.
Right. Hardman pulls Harvey aside to be like, I just want to make sure you're not going anywhere. He doesn't want Harvey to be leaving.
Which I don't think is true.
I don't think it's true either.
And Harvey's not going to fall. And he doesn't give a shit.
And Harvey immediately goes to Jessica and wants to leave.
He's like, we're doing it. Here are the partners we can take. We'll go open up shop. We're leaving. Like, let's get out of here.
But she's like, we can't. We have a non-compete. For a year, we couldn't practice law in New York City if we leave.
And he goes, contracts are made to be broken. And
Not
then
one
she
that I
says,
write.
Not by the ones I write.
Mm-hmm. She's not, and she's also not going to run. She's just going to swallow her pride and she's going to wait. It will not take him 5 more years to screw up.
Yeah.
He's going to screw up way sooner. She's like, the patience here, the high road is what we got to do.
And, you know, she says you don't make major life decisions when you suffer a loss.
Which is a theme for this episode.
No kidding.
The women know.
They do. And it's kind of like, did we talk about this on the podcast or was this something at work? Oh, I have a coach now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Like a life coach?
Yeah, like a professional coach. But what I was saying to my coach was that, like, how do you handle stressful situations? And I used to flip the fuck out.
Yeah.
Just like, I mean, right in the moment.
Oh, yeah? This is going to happen?
And
then
this is going to happen?
This,
and I'm like a fucking tornado.
Yeah.
Just like running through wherever I was.
You were
You've
pointing
seen
like
it.
you were like Yosemite Sam with
With
a
a
bunch
bunch
of
of
pulling
guns.
out a bunch of guns. It's like, oh, Harvey Specter says turn the gun around. Well, look at this. Yippity hi-yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
I've seen it. I've lived it.
You have lived it. And you're like, watch out.
I was like,
Here
you don't
comes
want to bring
Yosemite
it.
Samanda. And now I say, unless towards the end of that, I would say, is the building on fire or is anybody like in harm?
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's like an imminent danger or an immediate danger, really. Then I would say, get a good meal, drink a glass of water, and have a good night's sleep. And most things are better decided upon the next day.
Absolutely.
Same thing with like
that.
responding to emails and texts and stuff like that. I've done it a little bit probably in the past few years, kind of fired something off quicker than I would like. But then I go back and look at it. I'm like, I don't regret it. I knew I was doing it quickly and that was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just got to chill.
Sometimes you just gotta chill.
She knows.
And she gets it.
I might take all that out because I don't think I want people to know that about me.
That you were Yosemite Sam.
Yeah, Yosemite Samanda.
Yosemite Johnny boy.
Oh, Johnny boy.
I mean, yeah, they just get it.
Yeah.
They do get it. Also, right after the boat, here's Hardman saying he wants to make sure Harvey's sticking around, but he's also booting him to the 46th floor and replacing him with Paul Porter,
who was apparently loyal to him before any of this, before he was ever even a partner. Like, Paul Porter's been loyal to him for years, and he rewards loyalty.
And everyone's disgusted by this. Most of all, Donna, who says bow ties have no place on this floor.
Yeah, and then Harvey says to Hardman, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, he's like in his face. He's like,
he is not holding back.
No, he's like, I'm not going to kiss your ass, and you're kicking me down the 46th floor. Fuck you.
I think that Harvey would date Yosemite Samanda.
Yes, Yosemite Samanda. Yosemite Samanda and this Harvey Specter, who's coming for Hardman, cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, no kidding.
So then Lewis walks right in, and Hardman's like, I gotta get...
Wait, cut from the same cloth? You know, sometimes I say woven from the same thread. I wonder if I just made that up. Sorry.
Those two phrases, woven from the same thread and cut from the same cloth, kind of cut from the same cloth.
Kind of woven from the same thread. Y'all vote.
Amanda puts everything to a vote. Amanda's like, if Pearson versus Hardman can go to a vote, so can literally everything.
Everything. All right, I'm sorry.
Lewis walks in, and Hardman's like, I want to fire Harvey, but he's a senior partner. You're on this, Lewis.
And Lewis is kind of shocked.
Shocked because Harvey's been the golden boy of Pearson Hardman.
Yeah, he's surprised. And I was wondering, in watching it this most recent time, is Lewis not wanting Harvey to get fired? Like, the face, he shows a lot of different emotions very quickly when he says, I can't fire him. It's like, oh, you're going to fire, like, I don't want you to fire him, or, oh, cool, he's going to be fired, or just shocked.
I don't think Lewis wants Harvey to be fired.
I don't think so either.
I think Lewis recognizes that Harvey is good at what he does, great at what he does. And I do think that Lewis is one of those people who takes to heart, you want to be the worst person in the room, because that's motivation to get better and you learn from other people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Lewis wants Harvey to be gone. I think he wants to be surrounded by people who are talented. But he is 1,000% loyal to Hardman, and he's going to do what Hardman says. So he's going to figure out how to fire Harvey. And the way he does it is he takes Mike away from Harvey. Mm-hmm. He's like, you can no longer do anything for Harvey. You do none of it.
Yes.
And then Lewis marches down to Harvey, and he gives him literally the worst case
most detail-oriented case.
Super detail-oriented. Yes. All the financials, the things that Lewis has been doing because he loves it. Like, he's a data horn dog. Yeah. And he just freaking loves a spreadsheet. My gosh,
a data horn dog.
And he's not now Harvey. This is stuff that Harvey would typically pawn off on Mike, and now he cannot do it.
Yeah. And then he tells him that he can't use Mike either, that Mike has been redistributed.
Right. And Harvey goes straight up to Mike, and he's like, you're going to do this. It's detail-oriented. It's all the stuff you love. And Mike goes, I will not do that.
And they get into it.
Ooh, they get into it. Mike stands up, and in front of all of the associates in the pit, goes, maybe it's time you accepted it's over. You lost.
The great Harvey Specter. Mm-hmm. Can't do anything
about it. You live in a
it.
deluded world, right? You think you can always
Delusional, probably.
A delusional world?
Yeah. Is deluded a world?
I don't know. He's like, it's time you accept it. You lost. Bad things happen. Jessica lost. You lost. There isn't anything any of us can do, including the great Harvey Specter.
Yeah.
And then with the same energy of your high, go home, Harvey Specter says, go home. Now. Yeah. And ironically, Mike was high.
He was. And later.
No, he was high in this scene.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't high at work.
You don't think he was high at work? You don't think he was high at work?
No.
He looked high as heck.
I didn't think so.
You don't think he was smoked? You don't think he smoked right before? No, he did.
I think he did dime bags at night.
He was doing dime bags at night, and then Rachel came and got him and gave him coffee, and you don't think he smoked again?
I don't know.
Gosh, I thought he was high.
Did you?
But maybe he was just sad.
Sometimes they look the same.
Yeah. Sometimes when my kids cry, before like going to school or something. They want to make sure that their eyes aren't red before they go in. And I was like, that's a good check because you don't want everyone to think you're high.
And they're like, you're right, Mom.
You're right. I'm 6 years old.
Do they really don't want people to see their red eyes?
Yeah, no. It's very, yeah.
That's so cute.
It is really sweet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's okay to cry, but you're right. You don't want to go in there with red eyes.
Yeah. I get
Splash some water on your face.
it. Yeah. Let's get it together. Go into the Pearson Hardman co-ed bathroom.
Donna and Harvey are working really close together, but mostly everyone is just super stressed because the intercom doesn't work in Paul Porter's old office. So Harvey's trying to get Donna's attention. She has no idea. They're
He has
just
to yell.
yelling at each other. They're so mad. And he's like, why isn't this done? And she goes, I'm still working on it. It's not done because she is basically not Mike. Like,
Yeah.
no one can do things as fast as Mike.
Yeah.
Her brain is too busy being awesome.
Which is true.
It is true.
Harvey thought Mike would come back.
After he said, go home now.
Yeah.
And Mike has not come back.
Yeah. There are no other associates available for Harvey because Lewis wants to see Harvey sweat. Mm-hmm. And he comes in and says, doth my eyes deceive me?
It says Lewis lit.
Yes. Harvey says, just because financial cases bore me doesn't mean I can't do them in my sleep. And he just rattles off everything he's doing.
And it's all right.
It's
Lewis
all
is
right.
like,
It's
did you do this?
dang.
Did you do this?
He's like, yeah, I did this, and this, and this, and this,
and it all sounds very
money,
boring.
Yeah.
Money, 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 money,
Yeah.
money. Then Lewis tells Harvey that Harvey is going to be Lewis's second chair.
Yeah, that's the word we were looking for last week.
The second chair. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that Harvey needs to bring his coffee. Mm-hmm. And Donna says, oh, do you want me to put that on your calendar? Harvey throws a ball at something glass in this tiny Paul Porter office.
Yeah.
He's mad.
Yeah.
And frustrated. And it's working.
Then Lewis and Donna are there, and Lewis is apologizing, saying, I'm sorry you got caught in the crossfire, but there will always be a place here for you. And she goes, with you? And he says, yeah, I would be honored.
And she's like, you don't get it.
Yeah.
You dumb. This is the same energy that Lewis gave to Harvey when Harvey was like, why are you going after Donna in mock trial? And he was like, you don't get it.
Yeah.
You're the whole reason we have to do this thing. Yes. You're the one who's put us in
that's
jeopardy.
right. Mm-hmm.
And Donna basically says the same thing to Lewis. She's like
we're a team.
You don't get it.
Yeah.
You went against this team. You were a part of this team and you went against it.
And he was like, I was never a part of it. She's like, yes, you were. And now you don't have anybody.
Yep. You're alone. You're an island, Lewis.
Yeah.
And I would
like,
never
you have
work for
Hardman,
you.
but there's nobody else here.
Mm-hmm. And she's just glad that she doesn't have to be, might be 3 floors down, but she's glad she's away from his smug face.
Yes.
Oof. Ouch. Then it's late at night. Mm-hmm. Lewis is trying to get into Harvey's laptop to find dirt to get him fired.
Yes.
And he's trying to think, he says, if you were a narcissist with great hair, what would your password be? And he goes,
Shaquille O'Brien. Because he knows negative about sports.
Yeah. Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Brien.
Yes.
I loved it so much.
Lewis has to hide because
Mike and Harvey are coming
into the office. They're making a visit, which we'll find out about a little bit later.
But he does not successfully hide because this office is very small.
Yes.
And no one is in
there's
the
no
office.
way there's no way to hide.
And I mean,
Harvey goes after him.
Oof, like a pit bull.
Yeah.
Who needs to be on a leash.
Yeah.
Mike yells, you hit him, they win. And so Harvey doesn't hit him.
Yes.
And Lewis scurries out of there.
Yes.
But something that happened was that before that happened is that they were high.
They were high, which, we'll talk about a little bit
Harvey and
later.
Mike were stoned.
They're high. So then Mike is going through all of Harvey's records to make sure that Lewis didn't plant drugs in there.
Yeah, because it wasn't so much what was he taking away. They were like, what if he was planting something? And this is a aha moment.
Yeah, that TV aha moment.
Because maybe Hardman planted the memo for Coastal Motors.
Yep.
Because Hardman was there when Coastal Motors first started. Mm-hmm. Then Hardman came back. He asked for all the reports on everything. He knew that Coastal Motors was totally based on a lie because they had been his client.
Yes.
Before Harvey took it on as his case.
Yes.
So they're putting all this together. And Harvey and Mike go up and they're talking to Jessica about it.
And they're like, hey, we figured it out. We couldn't find any dirt on Tanner, which is originally why they thought there was a settlement. They think Hardman and Tanner were in cahoots and that they had to deal with each other. And so she's going to call a partner meeting, but they need proof.
And Harvey's like, I'll get the proof.
Yeah.
So he goes boxing with Tanner.
Yeah.
This, they have their own thing. They're the same person, but different. Tanner's like, sorry, Harvey, Pilates is on Wednesday because Pilates is such a ladies lady exercise. Even though I once did Pilates and I could not sit down on the toilet for a whole week.
Oh, so you just stand like a man.
I had, yeah. So
turns out Pilates is a man's.
There you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're boxing, and I did do a little more research to find out if Gabriel Mock has any boxing experience, because he's boxed a little bit in this show. Mm-hmm. Then I went down a rabbit hole on Reddit, and people were talking about how if he would have tried to box and fight like Batman, similar, somebody was calling out like the Batman origin story of Mike, and also maybe like the Daniel Hardman isn't the answer. But they were all ratting on his boxing. And they're like, this is a law drama with a little bit of comedy in it. Like, this isn't Batman. And there was a lot of back and forth on Reddit about
why does Harvey Specter box? So Harvey
how he boxes.
Because it's bad?
Yeah, but it's not as authentic. And I thought it looked pretty good to me.
I don't know anything about boxing. That's not something I would enjoy watching. I think it makes sense that Harvey gets up early and goes for a jog through Central Park and sometimes runs into clients. Mm-hmm. That he goes and boxes and then makes an agreement with Tanner that if he wins, Tanner talks, and Tanner says, if you lose, I don't. And then they start sparring or whatever. Yeah. That doesn't make sense to me. But then also, season 2, Harvey's just punching people in the face left and right. So, of course, the writers had to be like, why does Harvey like to punch people in the face? Oh, because he likes to box this season.
And per Reddit, not well.
Yeah. But it is just, the thing about boxing is it just looks so painful. Even when it's not
real. It's not fake like wrestling. So, you can really get yourself hurt. That's why I don't do it.
No, that's why I don't do it either.
I'm super competitive. I'm not going to do something that I'm not going to be the best at or where I would get hurt.
Especially this face?
Yeah.
I don't need that.
I don't need anybody throwing punches.
No. And they're fighting, and in the middle of it, Harvey's like, why'd you settle? And then Tanner's like, I decline to answer. Punch, punch. Why'd you settle? I decline to answer. Punch, punch. It's kind of cute.
It is. And then in the end, we find out that memo was a fraud.
We do. Shouldn't they be wearing helmets or mouth guards while they're doing this?
You don't typically see helmets.
But mouth guards, right? But that would make it hard for them to say their lines.
Yeah.
I just got so worried about their teeth.
Yeah.
At the end, they just both decide this is done. We're not going to fight any longer. And Harvey says, why'd you settle? Because he gets one question. Mm-hmm. And Tanner says, because the memo was a fraud.
He's like, you got to go report it. He's like, yeah, you got one question. Yeah. So he's not going to report it. At least we don't think so. Mike and Rachel are in the copy room or the file room. Mm-hmm. And Mike is digging through more Coastal Motors documents. He's like, I found it!
And then he smooches Rachel.
Right. He's so excited, he just smooches her.
We don't know what he found, but he found something that's worth a kiss.
Have you ever been so excited that you found some paperwork right after a relative died that you smooched somebody in a copy room?
Literally never.
Okay. That was my deposition. No.
You've never been in a copy room looking for something important, declared, I found it, and turned to the person who you have a flirtatious office relationship with and just grabbed him for a big old smoocheroo?
No.
Me either.
Yeah, that makes 2 of us. All right, we got that one out of the way.
I declined to answer.
Declined to answer.
But then Rachel's like, you shouldn't do this. Your grandmother just died. And when basically says what Jessica said, you don't make rash decisions when you're grieving. Mm-hmm. Mike tells her, oh, well, being smart hasn't made either of us very happy.
Yeah. Meaning they have chosen not to be with each other. He really chose it, but.
Right. But then she's chosen it. I don't know. It's back and forth. They're both overthinking it. Lewis then intercepts Hardman getting off the elevator, and he says, I have something that might be of interest. He needs Hardman to authorize something. We don't know what they're authorizing at first. Mm-hmm. Turns out it is a drug test. And Lewis is just waiting, chewing gum, because he knows he could smell the marijuana on Harvey when he almost punched him in the face. So he's going to make Harvey take a pee test, because the thing that Hardman authorized is that now senior partners could be tested for drug use.
Yes.
And Harvey's like, not without a hearing in front of my peers.
Mm-hmm. And so Jessica's like, why don't you just take the test? And he's like, because I can't.
And she's like, oh my God, you did marijuana.
Also, did you come up with that theory while you were high?
Yes.
And then Donna walks in and says, Lewis and Hardman got their quorum and your review starts in an hour. Because they were going to use this review period to buy some time and figure things out and get more proof. So my question here, a little depo for you is, have you ever been high or drunk and come up with something super brilliant and been like, dang, listen to this?
Yeah. Trying to think of all the brilliant things that I've ever thought of after smoking weed, which I don't do often. But the times I've done, I've been like, wow, I'm the smartest person in the room. Like one time I was like, oh, I was telling all these funny jokes and people weren't getting it. And it was like, I just have the seventh sense, the sense of humor, which I thought was really good.
That's cute.
Because the sixth sense is you see dead people.
Yeah.
And then another time I got everyone to cry because you just can't find pictures of kings, walrus kings on the internet. If you search it, like, there's nothing that shows up.
And they were crying?
People were so upset about it because they were like, you're right. I never thought about that.
Were they crying, laughing?
I don't know. But everyone was super emotional. I mean, I'm getting emotional right now. Like, how sad that
But I
there's
also
no...
know that you can fake cry because I know you.
But there's, like, no pictures of king walruses. Isn't that sad? Like, you can find, like, king bears, king anything, really, like any animal. But, like, when it comes to walruses, no illustrators have ever made king walrus. And then one time I realized, like, how important social studies is. So I was just like, wow, thanks, social studies.
Yeah.
You know, like, I just couldn't stop. Like, anytime someone would say someone, I'd be like, you probably know that because you had a great social studies teacher. So, you know, thanks, college.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's the answer I was looking for.
How about you?
You don't really get high. So I don't really have any of those kind of stories.
I don't really either, you know.
I'm a law-abiding citizen. I can smell weed and be high. So it's just, it never really caught on for me.
I think that there's a time and place for having really good theories like that.
Yeah, for sure. F. Scott Fitzgerald, I believe, is the one that said to write drunk and edit sober.
You know,
or maybe it was Ernest Hemingway.
F. Scott Fitzgerald is a notorious speller, like horrible speller. In fact, like his first book was slammed for being
F. Scoot Fitz.
F. Scoot Fucksgerald.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a really bad speller.
Oh, okay.
So Mike has found this thing. We flash back to him, and he's confronting Lawrence Kemp in that parking lot.
Yes.
And he needs him to sign.
It's not even a flashback. It's just happening.
Yeah, it's happening simultaneously.
Oh,
we
yeah.
cut back to him.
Yeah.
He's like, I know you met with Hardman. Like, it wasn't just you and that lady who wrote all the emails about the motors.
Yeah, Sarah Layton.
Sarah Clayton.
Layton, I think.
Sarah Layton.
Yeah.
It wasn't just you and Sarah Layton who knew this. You also talked to Hardman about it, and he told you to bury it. And I need you to sign this affidavit. And Lawrence Kemp is like, actually,
I'm done.
Harvey told me to settle, so I'm done with this. I'm not signing nothing.
Hardman does not win the vote that Harvey's going to have to take the drug test.
Because Harvey says, I was high.
Yeah, he's like, I was high because I had to work for you. And then he doesn't win the vote. Jessica decides to bring it up or Harvey does. And then he goes, don't do this. And she goes, if you go, I go. And so they're now talking about how Hardman planted that memo and also fraudulently sued his own firm.
Yeah.
And they don't have the evidence and they're freaking out. And then Mike walks in and he throws down on the thing, I have a signed affidavit from Lawrence Kemp.
It's a blue folder.
Yeah, puts it on the table. And he's like, the partners are going to want to see this.
None of the partners even reach for it.
Yeah.
He says all the senior partners are going to want to see this, but none of the senior partners even pick it up.
Yeah. It's always interesting when that happens here on the show that nobody actually goes to look at it. They just like take it for its word.
Yeah. Especially, like, there was a moment Hardman, like, looks like he's going to reach for it because he's like, oh, what, this? Like, someone saying that they told their lawyer and that's their lawyer made them do it. Like, that doesn't hold up. None of this would hold up. And it looks like he's going to reach for it. And I was like, oh, I don't think he should reach for it because I think it's one of those tricks. And then Jessica says it doesn't really matter if it would hold up in a court. It matters if the Harvard-educated senior partners of this firm are able to make that logical leap that you made them spend $100,000 of their hard-earned money to fight this case and basically buy yourself into managing partner.
Yes.
And with that, she gets them all back.
She gets them all back.
She calls a vote.
She got knocked down, but then she got up again.
Chumbawambud.
Yeah. Oh, Johnny.
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah. So then Harvey's like, how'd you get that affidavit signed? How'd you get Lawrence Kemp to sign it? He goes, I didn't. He goes, it's a felony to force somebody's signature. He's like, I didn't. He's like, I signed my own name. He goes, when do you really look at a man's shoes?
Which is true.
It's true. It's a quote from something now, and I can't remember what. I don't know if it's from the show or if it's from a movie.
I don't know. Have they said that before?
Yeah.
It's the way they said it sounded like they've said it a million times, but I
Yeah.
couldn't remember them saying it before.
Yeah.
And then they all raise a glass. So it's Mike, Harvey, Jessica, and Donna. And they raise a glass to the firm of Pearson and kiss my ass.
Yep.
And Lewis is walking by. Does not go in.
He sees him.
He sees him. He goes to his own office, sees the senior partner on the window, and he kind of smiles.
He kind of smiles, but I think he knows he's alone. I think you're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. By yourself, Lewis Lit. I think you're alone now.
I know it.
The beating of your heart is the only sound, except the 4 people that are celebrating in the office next to you. Sorry.
He does smile. I don't know.
He smiles.
But I do agree, now that you've said that, it was a lonely smile.
It's a lonely smile.
But I think he's there. He's not getting fired.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while it lasts, I guess.
Hardman and Jessica are in the room. He says he wants her to sign this confidentiality agreement. He doesn't really consider himself bought out, but he said, take this or leave it. It's a one-time offer. So she signs it, and then he walks out and says, don't kid yourself that this is the last page of the story. He also says Harvey made the first move, and someday he'll make the first move on you.
Yeah, which
is
I thought
like,
was interesting.
Dang.
He's trying to put a rift between this.
For sure. That's what he does.
And I don't know that I didn't buy that. That's like one thing that I didn't buy from Hardman, because I don't think that Harvey would. I mean, he goes
he loves
against Jessica, but I don't think he would make a first move to oust Jessica unless she did something super immoral.
Yeah. Next storyline.
Mike is grieving.
Mm-hmm. He's in the room with Rachel, in the file room with Rachel. And then they just kind of are fighting because she's like, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm working, like, welcome to the file room. This is where we store files.
It's just like Zoe when Harvey's dad died. She's like, you should not be here. Everyone would understand if you weren't working.
Yeah.
And you should tell Harvey. Mm-hmm. Or you should at least tell Donna.
Right. He's like, basically, next time I see you, I don't want to be talking about this anymore. He leaves. He goes to, as you know, make a major life decision while he is suffering.
Even though she says, don't do that.
Yeah. And he buys $100 worth of weed.
And it's folded in a newspaper. Mm-hmm. And that is 10 dime bags.
I believe that's correct.
Which is funny because...
He didn't order 10 dime bags, though.
He just said $100. But my mother and your father, my father-in-law, have told us that $10 is the dime bag. Like whatever
so
you can
he
get for
ordered
$10.
10 dime bags without ordering them.
Which is so funny, though, because a dime is not $10. It's 10 cents.
I know.
So I think
it's because like a dime, though, is like 10 and then there's a cent. But maybe when you're high, the cent sign becomes a dollar
sign.
And that's why they came up with it. Mm-hmm. I bet that's the origin story.
Yeah, it's just like a marijuana person was like...
they're like,
everybody's
C with
looping.
a line or an S with a line. It's
There's
the
no
same.
walrus kings. There's none of them.
Thanks, social studies.
He takes this home and he smokes so many marijuanas.
He does smoke a lot of marijuana.
Oh gosh, though, when he wakes up, someone's knocking on the door and the camera work is all like, whoa. It's all like cents to dollars, dollars to cents, dime bags to $100. Yeah. And Rachel's there with coffee to wake him up. And to go to the funeral, Grammy's funeral. He's like, oh, gosh, you almost missed it. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, gosh, marijuana. And he goes, it's one night. Please take it easy on me. But it was...
She goes, this looks like more than one night.
A lot of marijuana.
So she knows.
She knows that that's a lot of marijuana.
I wouldn't know. I'd be like, this is cute. This could fit a paper clip. This baggie could fit a paper clip.
What is this? Are you growing some...
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I'm going to go flush it. But he doesn't. He puts it in his medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
Because he's a liar.
He's a liar.
Because Mike's a big liar.
Yeah. So then he's going through some stuff, everybody grieves differently. So then we see him at the funeral. He's not ready to go up there. He's like, none of these people knew. He's like, you're speaking for yourself. You're not speaking for these people.
And then we see someone who comes up who clearly knows Mike very well.
Tess.
It's Tess. The short story is they were childhood friends. The long story is they were lovers and dated.
Yeah.
And like Grammy loved her.
Yes.
She loved Grammy.
Yes.
Rachel and Tess are like, you got to get up there and you got to speak. So he does. Yeah. And he talks about how when his parents died, Grammy took him in and he wet the bed. He's like 11. And she took him into her bed, and she was like, it's all going to be okay. I've been crying too, but don't wet this bed because I have to sleep here too. And then they laughed. They laughed about that.
Yeah. It's a cute story. As somebody who wet the bed way longer than they should have, I didn't love that part of the story because there's like a lot of like psychology behind like shaming kids when they wet the bed because it actually makes it harder. And so I didn't like that she did that. I know she didn't mean it. And she was a good woman, but I felt that one.
You were like, okay,
yeah, because my parents never gave me, they were never like, you can't do this, you know?
Yeah.
When you do that.
Then your brain can't get over it.
Yeah. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't wet the bed anymore if anybody's wondering.
But Mike says she wasn't just his grandmother. She was his whole family.
I know.
So then Tess and Rachel and Mike are talking after the funeral, and Tess is like, gives them the whole story. But no one, she was like, we should all get drinks. Rachel's like, I gotta go back to the office. Mike has to clean out Grammy's stuff. So Tess goes and helps Mike clean out Grammy's things. Mike's upset because he never got to say goodbye. And Tess reminds him that she never said goodbye to him when she left for college. And she kind of regretted that too, I think. And then they kiss. He kisses her on the forehead. And then they smooch on the mouth of Rue in Grammy's bed.
Yes. And then she's like, I'm married.
And Mike is like, what the fuck?
Get out.
You're high.
Get out.
Get out. You're married.
You're married. Get out.
And he's going to need a lot of marijuana to deal with this.
Harvey comes by later that night. Harvey knew about Grammy. And he said, I knew you weren't ready to talk about it, so I kept you busy. Was I wrong? And Harvey's like, no. And then he comes in, he's like, are you stoned? He goes, yeah, I don't want a lecture. He's like, I'm not going to give you one. And then he lights up
a doobie.
A marijuana doobie and says, is this the coffee cart guy? And
so we're like,
wait a minute.
Harvey
smoking dime bags?
Which makes sense because he loves records and street food.
Oh, okay. I didn't make that correlation that if you love records,
I
love dime bags.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I like records. I have records. I have a record player.
You would probably love a dime bag.
Probably.
But yeah, I mean, when you put together Harvey Specter, it does make sense that he would, he's boxing, so he's probably sore. So great. Healing properties of marijuana. He wants to just sit down, vibe to some old saxophone music from his dad.
That's fair.
Marijuana. He wants to come up with great ways to think outside the box. Marijuana.
This is all irrational.
He wants to eat hot dogs that are a little bit dangerous.
Yeah. A wiener.
A weenie that's a little
bit dangerous.
Yeah. Marijuana.
Side of danger.
Then it gets funny because then they're both very high. Harvey's like, Harvey Specter doesn't get cotton mouth, but they're just eating.
Harvey Specter doesn't get cotton mouth.
They're just so stoned. Then Mike talks about Harvey as a dad and how he could see it because Harvey's like, you don't even have hangers? What are you doing? Why are your jackets?
Yes.
And then Harvey sees the thing about that Mike has bought an apartment.
He's look, you bought an apartment in Manhattan.
Ugh. And then Mike's like, it was for Grammy. Now I'm an orphan. And then Harvey tells Mike about his dad and about how his dad was a saxophone player, believed in love at first sight, and then fell in love with Harvey's mom, who cheated on him. Yes. Harvey caught her when he was 16. Harvey says, I lived in a house surrounded by family, but I know what it's like to be totally alone.
So then they decide they want to play a prank. And they want to go pee in Hardman's office.
Yeah.
And so Harvey's in his suit. Mike is in his marijuana suit, essentially.
Yeah, he's wearing his hoodie.
He just looks like such a marijuana guy. Up over his head. Like
so
people
suspect.
won't recognize him. And they get to the office, and then Harvey says, no, we can't do this. This isn't right. We need to do something original. And Mike's like, I drank 3 Gatorades so that I could pee.
Orange in Hardman's office because Harvey has peed in Lewis's office. This is a tried and true prank Harvey does is pee in people's office.
Yeah.
But then Harvey's like, we have to do something original. We have to go get the can opener.
Mike is so excited because he's going to find out what they do with the can opener.
Yeah. And he goes, what we do is, and then the elevator door closes.
Dang. Another episode where we don't know what they do with the can opener.
No. It's cute though.
And then, of course, as we mentioned earlier, that's when they got into the little altercation-ish.
With Lewis.
Yeah.
Right? That's when they find him.
Yeah. Back at the apartment later that night, Tess shows up.
Because Mike called her.
And he opens the door. He goes,
yeah.
You're married.
And she goes, I am. And you called me anyway. And she's got like her hair in her eyes. And she's like just a hair zombie walk in. Like, oh, come on, Tess. Yeah. This is bad decisions. Bad news bears.
Yeah.
And then they are tangled up naked in the bed. Toes and legs just flippy flopping all over the place. Just like riding a bike.
Yep.
Which we know that Mike is good at riding bikes.
Yeah, he is. He likes bikes. And he says that.
He wears gloves.
He
So
does.
at least he's wearing protection.
He is. And then we hear a knock, and
It's not pizza.
it's not pizza. Pizza sounds great right now, but it's not pizza. No. It's Rachel.
Because she doesn't care about being smart.
Yes.
She says, let's do this thing. And then guess who's walking in
The
a
whole
sheet?
it only happens in the movies that somebody walks through with a sheet on when somebody answers the door.
Like, literally, I mean, I know that Mike's apartment is small, and it's like a sheet dividing his bedroom. It's not like some weird, like, he doesn't...
But why would you do that if there's a pizza person? Like, why would you get
It
up?
makes no sense.
This only happens in the movies. Listeners, if you have ever walked through a house with a sheet on...
Post-coital. Naked dance. Post-coital.
Is it coital? Is that it?
That's it. That's the word I was looking for before I said naked dance.
Or a naked dance if you're a mother of three. If you've ever done this, walked through so nonchalantly as your naked dance partner is answering the front door. Who even answers the front door, by the way? Why wouldn't you just look on the ring? Anyways, but if you've ever done this, we legitimately want to hear it, and we might put you on the podcast. I'm calling to Audible right now. If you have ever walked through in the background with a sheet wrapped around you post-coital while your naked dance partner is answering the door for someone that they don't know.
It's even worse if it's the pizza delivery guy.
Or the pizza delivery guy. It doesn't matter.
Do you think she heard it was Rachel and she goes, but then she's not even looking at the door. She's walking in the background with this sheet, and then it's like, whoops, like deer in a headlight. I've been caught.
Such a movie move if I've ever seen one.
Just stay in the bed.
Dude.
Wait for Mike to bring you pizza in bed.
Yeah, why wouldn't you want the pizza in bed?
Are you so... It doesn't even make sense that you would
There's no reason to get up. You're not even walking to the bathroom. What are you going to go?
Maybe she was walking to the bathroom.
That's where the kitchen is.
But isn't the bathroom by the front door?
She was walking towards the kitchen.
But wait. Still, you got to pee so bad that you got to go while the door's open?
Yeah.
Seriously,
I want to hear if somebody's ever done this.
Honestly, we could do a whole episode of just about this.
And all of the times it's happened only in the movies and in TV.
And 0% of the time happening in real life. Unless it happened to you, please let us know.
Yeah.
And then blackout.
Through blackout. So,
oopsies.
I'd love to hear what your predictions are.
Okay. Here's my predictions for Maggie's Prediction Town.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I didn't ask you if you wanted to take us down to Prediction Town.
Well, I'm here.
Welcome. You already made it.
Population 1.
Okay.
Me. Was Lewis happy because he thinks he's going to be back on the Donna Pearson Harvey team? Like when he did the smile, but I think you're right. He was just kind of smiling. It's a lonely smile, and he's keeping from crying. I think that he's not going to grovel, though, to get back in. And I don't think that they're going to treat him very well.
Okay.
Mike. Tess is going to go back to her husband. She's not like leaving her husband for Mike.
Right.
Rachel is going to leave him for law school, and then he's going to be sad and lonely unless he gets a Donna of his own. He needs someone who is with him
and whipping him into
shape. Hardman's going to be back. I say this because he said basically he's going to be back, and I believe Hardman. Am I a fool? Yeah. Have I fallen for Hardman? Yeah.
Most people have.
But I believe this.
Yeah.
Maybe he's going to come back to get Mike. Okay. I just don't think he's going to stop. Travis Tanner, I think, will also be back. Maybe with one of Harvey's old cases from the DA. Like, I feel like...
Still working on that Cameron Dennis?
Yeah, I feel like that was something that Travis Tanner brought up a lot. Like, you have all this dirt from these old cases. And because he doesn't like Harvey, I feel like he'll go after him.
Okay.
And then maybe, we didn't see her this episode, but... Maybe now that she's been put to rest, maybe we'll see Grammy through, like, ghost visits or flashbacks.
Ghost visits?
Yeah, I just hope, like, Mike keeps smoking marijuana and, like, sees her.
Okay. All right.
I think that Jessica's going to make Harvey one of the names on the firm.
A name
partner?
What
is that called?
It's called a name partner.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Well, it's not going to be Pearson and Kiss My Ass Forever. She needs another name.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be a slick move?
So good. Pearson and Just Me.
Yeah, Pearson and go fuck yourselves, everybody else. She just changes it out every day, or just has them answer the phone a different way.
Pearson and Click.
Yeah.
Those are my predictions.
Those are great predictions.
Thank you.
That computer was hot on my lap, so I had to take it off. I think it's full of hot takes.
So many hot takes.
And hot thoughts. I said that in a meeting that I was running the other day at work. I said, well, my hot thoughts are...
I think hot thoughts sounds better.
It does. It sounds
hot takes, hot thoughts.
Hot thoughts also...
Hot, it rhymes.
Makes you think, it kind of makes me think of like a hot pocket too.
I agree. It makes it more pockety and less like hot take.
It's like a hot thought. You could like stuff a little bit of your thought down in it like it was a pocket.
I think.
And then seal it up and put it in the microwave.
Motion to change it to hot thought.
Motion granted.
I'm going to treat this witness as hot thoughts.
As hot thoughts.
As hot thoughts.
Maggie, that's episode 10.
We only have 6 left?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're flying through these.
That's only 3 more weeks of episodes for season 2.
And I'll tell you this, we are having so much fun. This is truly a delight. I love recording this with you. I love rewatching it over and over again. Here's what we would love. We would love it if you all would leave a review. It helps. Like right now, it would be super awesome if you could leave a review. And also it'd be really awesome if you could share this podcast with some people. We want to continue to expose more people to the world of Suits.
1 episode at a time.
And some of our silly antics as well. And we appreciate you sticking with us. So we can't tell you, like, it's hard to express how much it would mean to us if you could do that.
Please and thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thanks so much for tuning in. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast, and make sure to leave a review.
A nice one. Or else, eat it.
Yeah, just eat it. Just a casual eating of it.
Yeah. Just when you're starting to write something, it should be nice. And if it's not nice, you just say, and then burp out something nice.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
Burp out something nice. We did it.
We did it.
How many minutes do you think it was? Guess before we
42.
42?
Yeah.
I'm so good at this game. Because
How
I
much
can
do you
guess
think it is?
down to the penny how much
Are you
it's
looking
be.
at the clock?
No, I'm not. How much it's going to be at the grocery store. I can guess it. I think it's 47 minutes and 37 seconds. Dang.
Wow. That was longer than the first one?
Than the first one?
That's crazy. I did get up to go blow my nose.
Yeah, but we didn't talk about wine bottles for 12.
For 12.